Folks at home, welcome to Tank Tuesday. And if you're new to the channel, we have a 300-gallon aquarium with 2 pet bass and 1 bluegill. Our pet bass are named Bonnie and Clyde. That's Bonnie right there. This is our big bluegill named Sheriff, and Clyde hanging out up under Stonehenge over here. We also have a couple of crawfish. You can see Larry the lobster hiding up under this little stump. And all of our Tank Tuesday videos come from ideas from our subscribers. If enough of you comment that you want to see something eaten, we put it in the tank. And a lot of comments came in for frogs and shrimp. And our last video we fed them frogs, and believe it or not, our pet bluegill Sheriff actually ate 2 frogs. I'm going to play a quick clip of that. Spit it out, ate it again. Spit it out. But the next most commented thing was shrimp. So today it is going to be a live shrimp, all-you-can-eat buffet for these bass and bluegills. So if you're not subscribed, hit the button now, and then also leave a comment below on what you would like to see us feed these fish. And we also do some tests and experiments and stuff to try to learn as much as we can from them. Alright, now we're going to take a look at our 55-gallon tank. This is our Minnow Tank here. Our 55-gallon tank has 2 pet bass, Moby and McCoy. There's Moby in the front and center, McCoy hanging out over here on the side. They're getting ready to eat. We got a snail here named Bolt. We also have 2 pet catfish. We have a channel cat and an albino. The channel catfish is named Whiskers, the albino is Casper. But Moby and McCoy were left out of the frog feeding for obvious reasons because they're tiny. These fish are only about 3 inches, but don't worry, we are not going to leave them out of the shrimp feeding. We have some micro shrimp that we're going to drop in here for them. And Moby right here in the center would probably eat as many as we dropped into him. He is a glutton. Alright, I got the bubble bucket. It's time to head to the bait shop and get some live shrimp. Alright, this is a look at the Mobile Delta, and this time of year this place is absolutely stacked with redfish and speckled trout. If any of you are interested in seeing a saltwater video, leave a comment below and we'll get it filmed. These guys right here are living the life. Alright, Bonnie and Clyde, it's fixing to be all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet. Alright, it is feeding time. Now we're going to drop in the white shrimp that we got from the bait shop, and I know that bass will eat these shrimp because when we're out there on the Delta fishing for specks and reds, we catch bass with the shrimp, so I have no doubt that the bass will eat them, but we're probably going to see a bluegill eat a shrimp too. So Liz, let's drop one in. Bonnie got that one. Let's see if she eats it. They wouldn't keep the frogs in, they kept spitting them out. Nope, yep, she ate it. That was quick. It was a fight for it. Alright, I put a couple of them in this bucket, that way you could see them. They're about the size of a full-grown shad, about 3 inches each. We're going to go in with 2 of them this time. Alright, we're going to put 2 in, and we're going to kind of split them up, that way we can actually see it. Alright, they're ready. Oh, Sheriff's trying to eat it. I think, and Clyde got the other one. I'm going to have to go back to a replay on that. I couldn't see if Sheriff actually ate it. I know Clyde ate one. Alright, this time we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to drop 1 in the middle and 1 on the left. I want to see these shrimp swimming in the water. Alright, Liz, let's go. Bonnie got that one. And that one. I think they're just so happy they're finally eating something other than just minnows. Alright, we're going to do 2 more the same way we did it last time. Sheriff did get one. That is unbelievable. A bluegill eating a shrimp. That's a first. Alright, we're going to do 1 last shrimp here, and then we're going to move to the other tank for the micro shrimp feeding. And Sheriff got it. Alright, so let's take a look at the shrimp. We have some micro shrimp in here. Some little orange and red shrimp that we're going to be dropping in our micro tank. Alright, I got Liz with me, and she's about to go in with the first shrimp. Yep, Moby got that one. No problem. Waiting for more. Let's get McCoy over here. Drop one over there for him. Yep, McCoy got him a shrimp. Come back over here to the middle and drop one in.
You want to see how little these are?
So Liz is going to show you just how small these shrimp are. They're tiny. They're little micro shrimp. It's hard to see it right now, but you guys can kind of get a perspective there from her fingers and how small they are. But that's also how small these fish are.
Bit me.
McCoy bit you and Moby got the shrimp. Alright, that's 3. Let's drop it over here on the left side. Yep, McCoy came in and snagged that one. So right now it's 2 and 2. We've got 2 more left. Got him. These fish are quick. Alright, last one's going in on the right side of the tank. Got him. You guys all suggested shrimp, so that's what they ate. They seem to be happy, kind of wanting some more. So, successful shrimp feeding. Alright, now it's time for an update on our BamaBass wooden lettering. Let's see if it's still floating. Yes, unfortunately, our wooden letters are still floating. We have BamaBass made out in wooden letters, and we're going to put it in the tank as soon as we can get them to sink. And one of our subscribers said that you can pour boiling water over it. So we're going to test that theory out and see if it'll help them get waterlogged a little quicker. Alright, we had some boiling water that just came off the stove. Let's pour it on it. Alright, we'll give you an update next week. Hopefully we'll be able to put them in. So some of you have asked in the past, how do we keep our tank so clean and not have any algae? Well guys, I'm telling you, that's definitely not the case. You can see back here in the back, we have some brown algae, and even over here on this wall. But the trick is staying on top of it and also figuring out what causes your algae. So brown algae can come from overfeeding your fish or from improper lighting, or if you have light coming in from outside, that's what creates this algae. But the trick is staying on top of it, cleaning it, and getting it out of the tank. So we're going to go over a few tips on how to do that and what we do every week to keep our tank clean. Alright, the first tip is to do your algae cleaning right before you do a water change. That way when it stirs up and gets in the water, that water will be removed and that'll help get rid of it. So now a couple of items that you're going to need. You can either use something like a magnet. This part goes on the inside and then we have a big part on the outside, or this is my favorite thing, it's a scraper. And I'm going to give you a little warning up front. If you have an acrylic tank, you have to use a plastic scraper. If you have a glass tank, you can use a metal scraper. But these products are linked down in the description below if you want to see it. This has an adjustable arm where you can really stretch it out and get those places like back in the back of the tank. Alright, and one other tip is when you're doing your water change, stir the gravel up. We use this python hose here, and rather than just pulling the water from out of, the middle of the tank, put it down there and stir your gravel up. You can see how this gravel is real black and it's a little bit cleaner versus this, it's a little bit brown. That has some algae sitting on top of it. So even your substrate down on the bottom needs to be cleaned every time you do a water change. And one last thing, you can see that the algae has grown on to that plant back there. Unfortunately, the best way to clean plants you have to remove them out of the tank and wash them off by hand. Alright, I prefer using the scraper over the magnet. It's really easy to do, and I'll show you really quick how easy it is. And Sheriff's right there in the way, like always. But it's that simple. You just go through with the scraper, it scrapes right off, and then you do your water change afterwards. Alright, now we're going to answer some questions from our last Tank Tuesday video, and we're also going to show you some clips that were sent in to us from some of our subscribers' fish tanks. Alright, first question comes from Chance Yang. On average, how many minnows do you go through in a week feeding? Well, we try to feed them 10 to 12 minnows a day, so on average I'd say around 7 dozen minnows for the 300-gallon tank. Next question comes from Palmer. I have a question for next Tank Tuesday. When is Liz due? Well, Palmer, she is due next March. Next question from Christian Ham. BamaBass, if the stripe on the bass's belly is visible like on Clyde's, does that mean they're healthy? No, the stripes and their coloration depends on how much lighting they're in. And Clyde hides down behind the bushes all the time, so he's going to be really white. And Bonnie sits out in front of the light, so she's going to be a lot darker. And it's the same way, if you ever catch a bass deep, they're going to be really white and pale. If you catch them shallow in vegetation, they'll be green and darker. Alright, next up is Luke Cahill. When will Bonnie and Clyde mate, and does that mean more bass? Well, if they were going to mate, that would be around the spring, which is March or April. But since they're in a tank, it's not guaranteed that they will, but we will be keeping an eye on that. They usually do it right around when the days start getting longer. Next question comes from Malik Anderson. What temperature do you keep your bass in? We keep them anywhere from 76 to 80 degrees, but sometimes in the winter that temperature will start dropping down and you'll start seeing them get a little bit more stagnant. They won't eat as much when the water's colder and they won't move around near as much. Alright, next question comes from Alex Hernandez. Please reply to my comment. Where did you get your albino and channel catfish? We actually got those at a pet store. It's hard to catch those really small catfish, especially albino. I've never done that in my entire life, so we actually got those from our local pet store. Alright, and last up is a subscriber's fish tank that he sent us. This comes from Connor Heller. He says, "Hi guys, I watch every one of your videos and I love them. Tank Tuesday is my favorite. I'm 13 and from Pennsylvania. I love fish and reptiles and have a 300-gallon stock tank that holds 4 turtles, 4 bluegill, and 1 bass. In this video I feed my bass and bluegill some worms and mealworms. My bass is about 6 inches and eats like a champ." Well, Connor, I appreciate you sending the clip in. You got a really good looking stock tank. Well guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below on what you'd like to see in next Tank Tuesday's video. See you all next week.
We're pretty looking people, but I can tell you people, they were the devil's children.